teacher Francois van Zyl, head of the gaming club, and with two prominent gamers, Harry and Robert. So, do you guys want to introduce yourself to the audience or just remain there in silence? Okay, not really. Okay.
They're going for the dark, mysterious look, you see, the sort of silent protagonist. That's the look they're going for.
Like, for instance, in Zelda can't talk, but okay, we get that. Right, so my first question. So this is quite a question that I think every gamer has a time where they entered gaming. So what was your very first game? Like that first game that you played? You can start with Mr. Francois.
Okay, I will start. Then the gentleman can perhaps maybe warm up a little bit. Maybe they're a little bit nervous, you know. The the very first game that I played, I might be giving away my age now, but the first game that I ever played was the Age of Empires 1 demo that came with Windows 95 as a extra feature. Very first game I ever played. My best friend and I, her mom had two computers for work. Both of them had Windows on it. And every day after school, we would wait for her mom to finish work so we could play Age of Empires 1 demo. Was the best thing ever.
That's pretty old.
Well, I'm pretty old.
I mean, if we take Windows 95, when was that release date? It was 19 something.
It was around about 1995.
Yeah, 1995. Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Quite old. You. Harry, what was your first game that you ever
From
played?
from what I can remember, if I'm correct, it was Wii Sports for the original Wii.
Wow, okay. That's also quite a while back. Robert, your first game.
My first game was kind of like a Mortal Kombat ripoff that I would play on my uncle's Xbox One.
Okay.
Uh,
Mortal Kombat rip-offs. Okay, so there's
some kind of fighter game. Yeah.
so there's Tekken and there's Soul Calibur. And then there's Dead or Alive. There's quite
I
a few
think
of
it's
those.
Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur's the best.
Okay.
It was my first fighting game as well.
I think my first game that I ever played was Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 1. It was the first game that I ever played. Okay. And I'm not that old. I'm not that old.
Kind of sounding a bit old.
Hey, when you've been... Okay. Now, okay, now comes a big question, and this is a question that we can ask about any person that games. Do you prefer solo or multiplayer games?
I'll go first again. Just to give the gentleman a bit of a chance to warm up again. Shame. I think they are a bit nervous, maybe. I personally prefer solo games. I don't know if any of you are terribly well versed in Age of Empires, but it obviously has a very big multiplayer scene and it's a very, very popular multiplayer game. But despite that, I still prefer the solo gaming. And even a little bit later, when I started playing, Soul Calibur or some of the other games, I still very much prefer solo gaming. Not anything against the other people playing games. I'm just not, I don't know, it just never appealed to me, the multiplayer aspect of it.
That makes sense. Harry?
Personally, for me, I do enjoy multiplayer, but I really do like my single player games. They seem to just be more appealing.
Okay. So you prefer the peaceful life, like Mr.
Yeah.
Francois.
It's not always peaceful, man. If you accidentally press the wrong difficulty setting, you're gonna have a nightmare.
Especially because some of the multiplayer games are a lot more like competitive.
It's not,
Robert?
it's not difficulty. It's the competitive angle for me. But
Oh,
When
we can
I'm
actually.
not playing game modes like rank, I prefer playing with friends in multiplayer. But if I'm grinding the rank during rank reset, I'd rather play solo so I don't get distracted.
Okay. I think you're talking about arc raiders. It sounds like that, nah.
No,
wait, I know it's what was it? What would you say that you play, Robert? It was
Call of
Battlefront or
Duty
something.
Mobile.
Call of Duty. That's the one. I remember you told me about it. I remember you told me about Call of Duty. I know it has a massive multiplayer base as well, but I'm not very familiar with it, so you'll have to tell us a bit.
Okay, now question. Okay, so I know there's a large preference for Call of Duty. I know there's a large preference for Fortnite. So I think I'm going to take the one that stays relevant and that doesn't get a lot of negative reviews because some companies just don't know what they're doing. Um, so right, if in a competitive match, let's take Fortnite for example here. Who would win?
Between us, it's
Yeah.
not going to be me. That much is for sure.
I
Personally,
don't even play Fortnite anymore. I played for a month and I stopped.
Okay.
I seem to recall Mr. Hein telling me that he plays a bit of Fortnite, I think.
Sure. I like that. I still do, very scarcely. Very scarcely.
I'd put my money on Mr. Hein. Not going to be me that wins.
Okay, but now, okay, wait. So we've got, okay, so you guys are also interested in fighting games like Mortal Kombat. So Mortal Kombat has an esports version of it. There is an esports for it as well. So who would win if it was Mortal Kombat?
I'm going to vote maybe for Robert.
Sir,
I,
please don't. Even my cousins can beat me.
I,
They're
but you
younger than
see,
me.
we don't know how good your cousins are. Your cousins might be world champions, you know? I feel like you are trying to trick us, Robert. You're actually a very good Mortal Kombat player, and now you're just trying to trick us.
All I do is button mash. I don't know. They know every combo in the game because they can play it every day. But yeah, no.
So what you're telling us is we should put our money on your cousins.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay, I don't want to take up everybody's time. I was told to keep this short, 15 to 20 minutes, you know. Okay, now it's okay. So the next type of question. So in a job interview, if you had to answer, what type of skills would you have? Does gaming give you? What type of skills does it give you?
I actually have a, a evidence-based answer for this. So perhaps I think the other gentlemen should answer first what they think the benefits of gaming are.
They can. Harry, what are the benefits of gaming to you?
Um, Personally, I think that it really helps with like creativity. For example, some games, for example, Minecraft, you can get a better sense of imagination and creativity from basically just playing the game in general. It's
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with that. Minecraft is heavily based on creativity and creative skills development and problem solving. Robert, you?
I'd say gaming can give you better hand-eye coordination or strategic thinking. in certain aspects.
Okay, I can agree with that. It actually does that.
I can perhaps say that I've actually had the misfortune of having people tell me that gaming is a waste of time, which is why I kind of actually know a little bit of the facts about this. And if we disregard the fact that gaming is fun, and let's take just a second to acknowledge that having something that's a stress relief and something that's just fun, that's also important. You need to have something that's fun. But if we just look at the actual sort of provable benefits, then we can say that people who are gamers tend to have a higher level of social connectivity. They tend to have slightly better teamwork skills. There's also significant evidence, and this was actually studied by the National Institute of Health, among others, I think in America, that shows that there are several cognitive benefits to gaming. You've got improved problem solving, as the gentlemen have already mentioned. In general, gamers also have a higher short-term memory and attention span. They've got faster decision making, which is particularly prominent in people who play a lot of first-person shooter games, whereas the problem solving is a little bit more prominent in people who do strategy type games like Age of Empires. Enhanced hand-eye visual skills, like Robert said. And one thing that I always found particularly interesting, because the way that it was explained to me, was gamers tend to be able to track more moving objects at once. The average person can simultaneously track like 4 or 5 moving objects. For gamers, it's about double that, which means, like I said, the way it was explained to me was if you are driving and you can track more moving objects at once, that means that you are better able to avoid an accident. So there are undeniable benefits to gaming and to having gaming as a hobby. And yeah, I don't mean to now take a light-hearted, fun little discussion and make it serious, but I have met lots of people who have argued and said gaming has no benefit, it makes you stupid and lazy. And that is just completely untrue by every metric.
Okay, I wanted to diss a certain game now when you said that, but I'm not going to
Oh,
do
that's
that.
it. Go for it.
I think the only game that that it's probably has benefits, but for instance, yeah, it's a very famous game made by Call of Duty. Call of Duty. I mean, I don't think you have to be smart to play that. I mean, it's pull a trigger and shoot. But I think Robert will disagree with me there. Nay.
Well, they study. That was one of the things that they had to look at. And even if you don't have to, be a brain surgeon to do it, the speed at which the decisions happen and stuff, it has a bit of a positive benefit for that. But of course, to each his own. Just because I like a game doesn't mean that you like the same game, and that's part of what makes it fun. How boring if you were all exactly the same?
Now, for my next question, do you think esports or professional gaming is worth it today? For instance, becoming a streamer or anything like that. Do you think it's worth it? Okay, what do you say, Harry?
Um, while it is a very competitive market, there are many people, and not many people actually get to be that famous that you would start making a decent amount of money. So if you are able to do something that, let's say you are very good at a certain game, if you are able to turn that into profit, I would say, yeah, it's worth it.
Okay, Robert?
I would have to agree with Harry on this situation.
Okay.
If you are getting at a skill where you think you could become a pro player, then definitely go for it because you can earn some money to keep you standing, and if you can't, I don't think it really is worth it that much.
And teacher Francois?
I actually agree with both the gentlemen, with Harry and with Robert. I will just add that while it is certainly able to do it, I think a lot of people have a little bit of a misconception. It is a very, very small amount of people who actually are able to do it professionally. It's certainly it's possible, 100%, but it's a very small amount of people who actually get there with the amount of time and skill that they need to do it. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily take that into account.
Okay. Well, there you've heard it, folks, from our gaming experts. Gaming is, I think, for me as a gamer myself, I would recommend gaming to any person out there. Go and try it, actually. Go and try it. You'll see that if you had a stressful day, it's fun to load up something like maybe Call of Duty or Fortnite and just mindlessly taking your frustration out on other players. Okay. Don't do don't do it in real life though. But just it's a safe zone. Gaming can be a safe zone. It can be a stress relief. And I think that's quite important to understand in today's modern day and age, because it is a stressful modern world that we live in. If we look at the news lately as well, and also it develops your other skills, cognitive abilities a lot quite further, like we confirmed in this interview. All right, but I think that's it for now. And cheers.
Excellent.